Okay, so in this example, we're going to start with a table of values and represent that table using ordered pairs, using a graph, and using a mapping diagram. Then we will identify the domain and the range of the function. So let's get into it. My inputs and my outputs, right? A lot of times we'll call that X and Y. So maybe even might be useful to write that at the get-go. And you might even be thinking about the domain and range already, but we'll get to that at the end. So using ordered pairs. Ordered pairs. Well, remember ordered pairs, I put my input first and my output second. So the ordered pairs for this would be 1, 1, because those two go together. And we use semicolons to separate those. 2, 4, 3, 2, and 4, 3. Okay, so those are my ordered pairs. Great, not too bad. Let's use a graph. So we've got this graph over here. And the ordered pairs are actually kind of helpful because this is maybe familiar territory for us, but my input is on this axis usually, right? My x-axis, maybe I can label that for you, and this is my y-axis. So usually we have inputs on the x and outputs on the y. So 1, 1 is a point. 2, 4 is a point. 3, 2, and 4, 3. These are all points on for my function. Now, don't connect them, right? Just the points are represented in this function. Later, we'll talk about continuous and discrete functions, but for now, these points, this is how you represent this function using a graph. Okay, what about a mapping diagram? Well, using a mapping diagram, so that's where we have kind of these two, right? Two rectangles or ovals. You'll see both. And over here, I have my inputs. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Over here, I have my outputs 1, 4, 2, and 3. And really, if you wanted, you could write 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? That's also my outputs. Now, connecting them is where it gets tricky and we need to be careful. So, if I can. 1 goes to 1. 2 goes to 4. 3 goes to 2. And 4 goes to 3. And that's how you could represent those using a mapping diagram. Usually we do the orders from the numbers from least to greatest with mapping diagrams, but you could really do them in any order. Okay, now we need to identify the domain and the range of our function. So the domain is my input, right? That's the domain. It's always my input. So here, right, this is our domain. And the outputs make up my range. So the domain is, if I were to write this, I would say the domain is the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. While the range is the numbers, and we use these curly braces to show that they're together, they're grouped together. The range is also the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's that. That's the function represented in so many different ways, and also talking about what the domain and range of that function would be. Hope this was helpful. See you next time.